Hey makers, welcome or welcome back to just one more row, my little weekly crafting vlog that we have going on here. I wanted to apologize first and foremost for not having an episode last week. My partner and I had some family come into town, and so we were spending some time with them. But let me get you up to date on what's going on. Starting with what I'm wearing right now. This is a vintage pattern that comes out of Australia Women's Weekly. It's called a man's nubby diamond sweater, though you will notice there are no diamonds. I'll go ahead and link a description. I figured I'd go ahead and let you guys in on what I've been working on recently, which is the Grecian Blouse. This is out of the Australia Women's Weekly magazine, and that is the November 25th issue from 1953. Anyway, I figured I'd let you guys in a little bit on what my process is whenever I'm looking at new vintage patterns. So I'm going to go ahead and read through the pattern very quickly. And what I'm doing is making sure that I have all of the information there. I want to make sure that literally I have all of the pages. Sometimes with older publications, things like people will cut things out of magazines. Sometimes you get discoloration if you're working with a newspaper. Sometimes you have a magazine or a book that is being digitized and it just won't lay flat, and so the person digitizing it tries to get the best image they can without actually damaging the item. So I'm going through and I'm making sure that the information is there, and if it's not there, can I make a relative guess as to what it could be. The next thing I'm going to do when I'm reading through it, and I'm doing this very quickly, by the way, this is just kind of to make sure that the info is there. I'm going to look for the descriptive parts of this set of pattern instructions. So things like a materials list, measurements, gauge, and you'll have a little paragraph there that will give you the definitions for abbreviations. Normally. Not all patterns will have all of this information. Go ahead and take a look at the measurements. I'm doing the middle size, which is the 39 to 42 inch bust. Now there are some alterations that I know I'm going to make to this immediately, and the first of which I'm going to lengthen it. This piece is from 19 inches from the shoulder to the hem. I'm going to add about 5 inches to this particular blouse so that it will actually come down to my waist and a little bit over my hips. That being said, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look at my materials list. I already know I am not going to be using the original recommended yarn. I've decided to use this very purple. This is a silk merino, and it is approximately the same thickness as the original Alexander's knitting cotton that is recommended within the pattern. However, I need to go ahead and figure out how many of these do I need. I tend not to work in weight, I'm looking at meterage. And normally what you would do is you would look up the yarn that is being recommended. You would figure out how many meters or yards is within that particular skein and multiply the number of skeins by the number of meters, and that'll give you your approximate meterage. This calls for 5 2-ounce skeins of the particular knitting cotton. So 10 ounces total. What I'm going to do is then convert those 10 ounces into grams. So that's approximately 284 grams, depends on how much you want to round. Then I need to figure out what the meterage is based on the information I was able to find online. Is approximately 80 meters per 10 grams. So I'm going to take the 283 total grams, divide by 10, 28.3, round up, 29, multiply 29 times 80, and I come out with 2,320 meters, roughly. I'm then going to take that 2,380, and I'm going to divide it by the approximate meterage that is within each one of these silk merino skeins, which is 190. 2,320 divided by 190 comes out to 12. So I should, in theory, need 12 little skeins. I can already tell you now it will take less than that. I've been working on this some. I'm almost done with the back and I'm on skein 3. And the fronts aren't that much bigger. So unless I'm mysteriously going to use 9 more skeins, I will end up, it'll be significantly less. Hi, Editing Joe here. So this video got a little bit math heavy, and so I'm going to go ahead and break it up into some smaller chunks so it's not just a giant stream of numbers coming at you. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what I put out so far and were able to follow along with some of my explanations. Or if nothing else, we're at least pleasantly confused. So, until next time, have fun, make stuff.